of Nye County had to be exposed to this. Bob Beckett, in my opinion, used, because as Detective Brookwitz said, this is the suspects do this. I'm innocent. I'll do whatever I can and start filing these actions. The problem is that the DA, Bob Beckett, used his office and used in his influence to take this a step further and then cause the people of that county to be exposed to nationwide press in an attempt to try to, demean the Nye County Sheriff's Office and to demean the work that the Nye County Sheriffs do. These people go out here every day, risk their life on behalf of this, to protect the citizens. And we're happy that this event is behind us now, and we appreciate Judge Bonaventure did apologize to Detective Brookwitz in reference to and sorry had he be put through this. Right. And so we appreciate the judge looking at it as what it was, the special prosecutor looking at what it was, and I appreciate the men and women of Nye County Sheriff's Office even being slandered by these accusations being about. They still continue to do their job and put their life on the line for the citizens of Nye County.
I see. Was there any apprehension, Detective Brookwitz, before going into the courtroom this morning? Any at all?
Absolutely not. Like I've said, I had faith in the justice system, and I knew I did nothing wrong. I did my job, and I was confident that the justice system would prevail.
I see. Tony, obviously this is a political season, and this has played out in the political realm. How has it affected your department?
It's political season. I didn't realize that. No, I'm only kidding. I had played in the department. It's very difficult for this, and because this time of the year, because political season, what it is, intensifies a lot of things, and things that would normally just get a passing or intensify when it involves a candidate, and it involves, of course, this being I'm the sheriff of Nye County, involving the men and women of Nye County Sheriff's Office being unfortunately being dragged into this. What really got me upset was when I go to these candidate nights, I'd have my opponent bring up and calling my detective a felon, why he's out there, still out there, and if I was the sheriff, I'd be removing that. You know what? I know the quality of work that these people do, and it upset me. I had to keep my mouth shut, not to go over and try to tell him and try to inform him what the truth was. He wasn't interested in the truth anyway. Other people try to tell him that you step back off this. But I was at a meet and greet, at a candidate's night where he basically called my detective a felon, and basically demeaned the character of everyone in Nye County Sheriff's Office in an attempt to try to gain some kind of political ground with his running for office, and I objected to that. I never did that when Wade did. I know these investigations have a evolution of their own. Right. You don't do that. You go out there and you speak what you're going to do for the agency. He hasn't even done that yet. And I'm upset because he dragged Detective Brookwitz, made him the poster child for everything that was wrong in the sheriff's office, not realizing that Detective Brookwitz and other people involved in Nye County Sheriff's what's right about our office and should be commended for their job and the service to the community.
I see. Now, you mentioned the word slander, Sheriff, which, that's something that's actionable in a court of law. Anything, or you're going to just drop it and leave things alone?
Well, for me, it's political season. You look at the commercial, you see the junk that candidates put up there in reference to their opponents. I understand I understand that. The people who work for Nye County Sheriff's Office are exposed to that. They don't need to be exposed to that unnecessarily, and that's something that I'm just glad that the men and women of Nye County Sheriff's Office recognized for what it was. And one of the things I want to say is I want to just thank the citizens of Nye County who support the Sheriff's Office and the deputies and men and women who work for Nye County Sheriff's Office throughout this whole thing. It was embarrassment for them. They had to live through this, not knowing how the outcome is going to, maybe second guessing about where we were actually right in what we did because of what the accusations being made by Mr. Bob Beckett and others that were closely associated with his realm of influence, his core group. And we appreciate the fact that even with that, they still had the faith that we're going to do the job for them, and that we're going to protect and serve them, and we're going to make sure that we have a safer community, and there is integrity in Nye County Sheriff's Office, contrary to what some believe, but the majority of people supported us, and I appreciate that because it's them that we work for.
I see. Obviously, David, this was a distraction for you. Doing your duties, your daily duties, and having this in the back of your head. How did it affect your performance?
it didn't affect my performance any. It's obviously been a burden and a stress to me and my family, and to the agency as a whole. But I think ultimately with the sheriff's support and the support, like he said, of the citizens of Nye County, we've been able to push forward knowing that the justice system must move forward whether people try to hinder it or not. We have an obligation to serve these people that we've sworn to protect.
I see. Real quickly, if we can move on to another topic. You had a press conference yesterday at the Nye County Sheriff's Department regarding the big drug bust. Can you speak to that one more time, Tony?
Well, actually, it's I actually give that to Detective Brukowitz. He was part of the Predator Task Force. I handpicked the people that were in that task force, and Detective Brukowitz was one of the people who was part of that and actually involved in many of these operations. I was part of the SWAT team. I went on SWAT operations with them, and but I'm going to let Detective Brukowitz actually speak on that because, after all, he was there, and it's the work that he did, and members of the Predator Task Force.
I see. Detective, 164 marijuana plants, over $5,000 in cash. A big bust for the Scorpion Task Force as well as the Predator Task Force.
It was a very big one. There are 4 separate houses that were where these plants were located, and we assisted the Scorpion Task Force in seizing these plants and the equipment that goes with it. It's kind of a family operation, the Briscoe family, and ultimately they were a couple of houses that needed to go.
I see. And one of these, it was an underground chamber from what I understand, and you can actually stand up inside this thing?
Correct. That was dug out underneath the actual residence, and you could go right into the chamber and stand up and move around down there.
Wow. Okay. We'll certainly have more about this big drug bust coming up in the days and possibly months to come. I want to thank Nye County Sheriff Mr. Tony DeMeo as well as Detective David Brukowitz from the Nye County Sheriff's Department for speaking with us regarding today's situation and the big drug bust. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
I appreciate this. I appreciate the citizens we serve, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate that of Channel 46. So, and I appreciate the work that men and women in Detective Brukowitz did. He never lost faith in the system and continued to do 100% for us, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, justice was served.
Yeah,
folks, we'll have more of today's top stories coming up right after this break. Please keep it here.